Hi, JamesAnimalHarrison. It's time for Thursday Thoughts. Today we're going to talk about a drummer, and I'm going to tell you why we're going to talk about him. I just got finished watching A&E documentary on the band Kiss. It was pretty good, entertaining, somewhat informative. Not enough about Peter and Ace, in my opinion, but that's okay. It is what it is. But I will say that I am a Kiss fan. I was late to the party, so to speak, and I have to give some credit to my brother Donnie, rest in peace. He's the one that was a big Kiss fan early on, and then when the Alive album hit, I think it was around '75 or so. I actually eventually got into my first rock band called Aldebaran, and we played some Kiss tracks. I think Black Diamond and Rock and Roll All Night were the two specific ones that I remember learning. There was nothing that really caught my ear about Peter Criss, but it fit perfectly. It's kind of like Ringo, it worked. But the album that really turned me on to Peter Criss a little bit was the album Destroyer, which came out a year or so later in '76. Everybody, knows the album because of the tune Beth and everything. But, Beth to Kiss was a huge hit and everything like that. But it's kind of like More Than Words for Extreme. It was so different than everything that they did. And if you ever listen to Extreme and you listen to More Than Words, it was so different than everything they had done. But the public heard that and thought that's what it is. But the song Detroit Rock City blew my mind. I really enjoyed the drum part on it. And over time, as the more I listened to it, I really started to hear some little intricate things going on. Not necessarily difficult, but tricky. So I guess that's the best way to do it. I actually did a lesson on the sections of that tune, if you want to go back and find that on one of my Wednesday lessons, probably at this point a month or 6 weeks ago, something like that. It's one of those. Every Wednesday there's a lesson. But that album really, really solidified me as a Kiss fan and a fan of Peter Erskine. I won't say Peter Erskine. I am a fan of Peter Erskine. Peter Criss. I never saw the band live with Peter Criss. I did see them live with Eric Carr, phenomenal drummer, and they put on a phenomenal show. And I will say this, Kiss is the only band I've ever seen live that when they first played, musically they were fine, vocally it was pretty weak and everything, but as the show went on, it's like Paul Stanley's voice got stronger and stronger as the show went on, and by the end of the show, he was killing it. It was amazing. And it wasn't auto-tuned, and it wasn't a bunch of effects and everything. It was pretty raw and raunchy, and they sounded great. And that was with Eric Carr. But, again, this is about Peter Criss. I really became a big fan of the band on that album. And, of course, I loved the tune Beth. I thought it was great, and Peter Criss was singing it. And I didn't really follow a lot of singing drummers to that point. I had always been impressed with Karen Carpenter, an amazing singer and amazing drummer. But I think because the tune Beth was so melodic, and then also that he was a writer on it, and I thought his voice was just a little bit of a gruffness in there, and I've always had a little bit of a gruffness in my voice, so I kind of was really drawn to that's the kind of thing I could sing. I wish I could sound like that and sing. Because I didn't sing in any of the bands that I was in for the longest time. Partially out of fear, partially because I can go out of tune very easily, and I don't have a great ear. Obviously, I had to pass my oral skills training and stuff like that, oral skills training in college, and ear training and stuff like that, but that still doesn't. Just because you can match a bit doesn't mean you can blend well with people. Later on, I did a lot more singing with some of the bands, and even to a point where I started singing several lead songs and not. So a lot of people who know me from Boise, from Hannah's, have heard me sing the tunes that have gruffness in them, like Billy Idol and Kiss and Metallica and stuff like that. But oddly enough, one of my favorite tunes from Kiss is off the next album called Rock and Roll Over. Big hit was Christine 16, great song, but it's a tune called Hard Luck Woman, again sung by Peter Criss. So the singing drummer thing really started catching on to me at that time. So probably a little bit underrated as a drummer, but that's okay. Great singer and a great drummer. He fit it very well as far as I'm concerned. Whatever internal strife busted up that band, that's not for me to decide. I do think that stretch was really good after the Alive album, and I really enjoyed those next two albums. So Peter Criss in my book is definitely an influence, not only because of his drumming and because I felt it was approachable and reachable, but also that I felt it fit the rawness of the band. But I also really, really was drawn to the sound of his voice, and I thought that was something I could eventually match. So today, kudos to Peter Criss.